stomp your feet, do whatever you do to make noise right now. I see he doing both. For Maxwell Soloway, keep that noise going.
Thank you so much, everybody. Happy to be here, Cincinnatians. There's a social faux pas that should cease to exist. Nobody cares what high school you went to. Nobody ever cared what high school you went to. Let's stop talking about it. We have to find that person that's keeping that conversation piece going. We got to find them and put them in the penalty box for 24 hours and feed them nothing but communion bread and spoiled milk. Because it's so annoying. Because what we're doing is we're marginalizing an entire person's existence. The 4 years of basic education. And it puts people against each other. Because you could be a structural engineer. You could be on a humanitarian effort to give fresh water to third world countries. But if you went to West High, you're still looked at as a fucking loser. It's weird. People, when they ask me, Max, what high school did you go to? I didn't go. Because high school, that was the hardest 2 years of my life. I went to Purcell Marion. They looked at me like the Antichrist. My last name's Solway, but my nickname in high school was Hallway Solway, because I was always getting kicked out of class. And I remember at school, I was ranked 150th out of 165 students. It's true. My school counselor was like, Max, at this rate, if you don't get it together, you're going to be a lifetime liability. And I said, how much do they usually make annually? And he said, get the hell out of my office. I tried to become an EMT. I went to trade school. I bombed miserably. My fire teacher said, look, Max, you need to work on your own trauma before you try to help others with their trauma. I went on to Cincinnati State, too. Went to Cincinnati State. I went there for associates in journalism. Yeah, but I was distracted there, too. I didn't really get an education there at all. I was just distracted because I didn't really go for the education. I just went just so I could see single-parent moms breastfeed in the computer lab around 2:30 in the afternoon. Because when I go to a strip club, I can just see a big titty out around 3 o'clock while a girl's working on a thesis statement. I mean, there's a baby attached to the nipple. But hey, once you get your student ID at Cincinnati State, you're a student forever. It's true. It's true. I used to frequent the strip clubs in my 20s. So that's why I like to go to Cincinnati State, because it was saving me a lot of money. It was a fiscal responsibility. I used to go up to Deja Vu in Amelia, Ohio, where their slogan is 6 good-looking ones and 2 bad. But I didn't go up there to really get a lap dance. I just went up there to get those girls registered to vote Obama in 2008. Because we know 2 things about strippers. They don't go to college and they don't vote. Because the whore glitter is pretty much a giveaway. So I go up there, I get a little lap dance, I give those girls a little bit of money. And strippers always ask this question, right, after you give them money. Can I do anything else for you? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Are you registered in the state of Ohio? I got strippers named like Charmaine, and Ecstasy, and Fantasy voting Obama 08. So you can blame me or thank me for turning Ohio blue in 2008. Like, not all heroes wear capes, guys. But we are. And right now in this country, we are going through what I would call a paradigm shift. Right? It's tumultuous times. This is the hardest shift I ever worked. Well, actually, I take that back. I did work third shift at a Waffle House on third Street. Third shift? Yeah. That might have been the hardest shift I ever worked. That's the only place where they ask you, can you work late, can you cook, and can you fight? It's the only place you have to make bacon and eggs and know Krav Maga, martial arts. That's why those waitresses at Waffle House, they should really get paid like ICE agents. Because they don't even have weapons. They got to do crowd control. They got to break up fights. They got to start fights. And they got to make bacon and eggs and pancakes. I mean, golly, give them all the money. I vote for the next mayor, a former player of Waffle House, for sure. I've had a lot of jobs in my time. I've had 20 jobs, and I've been fired from half of them. So that's 10 out of 20. If this was baseball, I'd be in the Hall of Fame, right? That's great. I'm batting 500. But, you know, I'm a lifetime liability in the workforce, to be honest. I remember one of my first jobs, and I kid you not, I was a custodian at the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center when it first opened up. Yeah, that job was really hard. I remember my supervisor said, Max, when you get a chance, I need you to mop and vacuum the slave quarters. Never in my life did I think that was ever going to be said to me. Like, I had to take a PTO day just out of white guilt. I got fired for smoking a joint with in front of the Harriet Tubman exhibit. I have too many jobs. I can't be governed by a job. That's why I'm a full-time DoorDash driver now. You might think that's a red flag, but you know, that's why I'm trying to bring COVID back. That's why because I was considered an essential worker. That's right. I'm doing the necessary steps to get COVID back. I've been coughing in public. You know, I've been not wiping my hands. I've been going to various Greyhound stations and collecting feces and just wiping it on random tables. I want a stimulus check and I want to go back home. Because during that time, that was the best 4 years of my life, man. COVID, woof, man. I was making about $1,100 a week delivering food to fat asses. It's great. And the mainstream media called me an essential worker. That was the first time I was considered essential at anything. They were like, that guy right there, he's on the front lines to bring your Jersey Mike's on time. And he's sacrificing his '02 Toyota Corolla to do it. It's tough. I need to go back to school. It's not going to happen. 39 years old. I'm not worried about education. I'm worried about an existential crisis at this point, you know. I'm actually almost excited about having a midlife crisis. I want that shit now. That's why I'm just going to buy a 1979 Buick Riviera that gets 8 miles a gallon for no reason. But there's some things I got to work on myself, you know. I really want a partner in my life. I want somebody to love, right? But if I can't wake up to the woman of my dreams, I'm just going to have hookups for the rest of my life. And I accept that. And I had 3 last week, but it's not a brag. One of them, she was a mail carrier, so you can imagine what she looked like. No. She had like the leather face thing. Like this, you know. She looked like a piece of beef jerky. I dated a stenographer, and then I had a single parent mom. So say what you want about that. I don't discriminate. But I gotta be honest, man. I ate so much pussy in that weekend. By the end of it, I was talking like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I had to go to urgent care for a hyperextended tongue. Man. All right, guys, that's my time. Thank you so much. Thank you, Somerset. God bless y'all.